Hi, it's Michael Cooper. I'm with the Private to IPO Partnership Network, and we are taking a look at and listening to CEOs who are leading their companies from the private sphere to an exit strategy. These are companies that are top-notch, gold standard in their industries, and know what it takes to grow their company to a successful exit.
Transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS, is an accepted method for treating depression. According to NeuroPrex, over 800,000 people die by suicide every year in the world. That's one person every 40 seconds. Yet these deaths caused by mental health disorders are preventable by early, effective intervention. TMS helps, but according to the University Health Network, TMS works very effectively on only 50% of cases. An increased effectiveness percentage could be very attractive to physicians, insurance companies, and patients alike. NeuroPrex is developing some improved solutions. Dr. Huang and her team have designed, patented, and developed and are navigating the US FDA clearance system for a new, improved, and significantly more effective system for TMS. Welcome, Dr. Huang. Can you tell us how you chose to come to Silicon Valley from Taiwan and how you got involved in developing medical devices?
I immigrated to the U.S. in 2004. Before that, I worked as project leader on developing a nanotechnology medical device for rapid detection of pathogens and humanized antibody drugs for 15 years. Those products eventually become commercialized and acquired by other companies. After that, I started up two consulting firms in Taiwan and U.S. during 2007 and 2008, specializing in selecting potential high-level medical device products, working directly with manufacturers in Taiwan and India. I have successfully secured exclusive distribution rights in U.S. and Taiwan. The products including diagnostic portable ultrasound and stethoscope with novel algorithm of detecting heart failure. At the same time, I went to Stanford University for a fellowship at the medical school and business school beginning in 2008 for 2 years. I believe those R&D and business development experiences across borders have cultivated my skills and broadened my perspective on leading NeuroPrex R&D and operations today.
Wow, you've accomplished a considerable amount. Just wanting to talk about some of your technology. According to the Mayo Clinic, TMS is typically used when other depression treatments haven't been effective. Why is TMS the last resort solution today?
That's a good question. Drug treatment has been the traditional approach for treating major depression and has reimbursement costs for insurance. TMS therapy for major depression is currently more expensive and only fairly recently become eligible for reimbursement by insurance in the U.S. TMS therapy is a non-invasive and energy-driven therapeutic method. The electromagnetic coils placed against the scalp in this device, which induce the occurrence of hundreds of volts of eddy current, interact with the diseased nerve circuits in the body, generating a modulation effect, either to suppress or activate nerve activities in the targeted nerve tissue. This therapy outcome is phenomenal, safe, effective, and the symptom relief is long-lasting from 3 to 6 months. We believe this therapy will have a good outcome in treating PTSD and reducing suicidal tendencies. Our NPX-101 TMS device is a portable one with a proprietary protective shield which can deliver frequency range from 0.1 to 30 Hz. and the energy intensity is around 0.5 to 5 standard motor threshold units.
So now TMS is used at leading hospital systems such as Johns Hopkins and the Mayo Clinic. Are they testing your TMS shield? And which hospitals would be testing your TMS solutions?
We are talking to Veterinary Administration healthcare systems. One is in the Bay Area of California, and 2 others will be on the East Coast. In Europe, we will be working with psychiatrist professors by the introduction of European Alliance Against Depression to join a phase 2 project collaboration.
Okay. So you are talking to a range of hospital systems.
Yes.
Now, when doing a little bit of research, I noticed our TMS is a Health Canada approved treatment for major depression. It is also being studied as a treatment for other disorders such as eating disorders, anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, obsessive compulsive disorder, chronic pain. Am I correct to assume that your shielded system will also be able to address these issues potentially?
Yes, we believe so, but major depression is our first focus. Other mental disorders are our secondary considerations since they require FDA approval. The FDA has approved the use of TNS for drug-resistant major depression in the U.S. Being a start-up medical device company, we focus on TNS study for treating major depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, at the initial stage.
Can you describe your non-invasive treatment in terms of the number of sessions a patient would sit through, the duration of each session, and are there any notable side effects with the treatment?
In order to receive a quick market approval by the FDA for major depression, our NPX 101 device will be strictly following the TNS safety and engineering guidelines in energy and waveform output. For depression, it usually takes 30 sessions within 6 weeks, each session lasting for 30 to 40 minutes at either 10 Hz or 1 Hz, targeting the left brain prefrontal cortex area. For PTSD and for use in suicidal situations, the treatment session time varies from 3 days to 1 to 2 weeks at 10 or 20 Hz. It will depend on the treatment response rate of individual patients with resulting adjustments to the parameters by doctors.
And I understand that the shield that you have developed is a critical component of your system. How much of your system is designed and built in-house in terms of the shield, the magnetic ring, the output display?
The TNS protective shield is indeed a critical component in our device that is designed to reduce scalp pain, increase efficacy, safety, and comfort during therapy. Preliminary feasibility test results prove that the shield reduced surface stimulation by 32% at 1 to 3 centimeter depth without affecting the magnetic field at 5 centimeter depth. By reducing unwanted surface stimulation during the therapy, the incidence of scalp pain and headache in patients can be easily controlled. In current TNS therapy, a majority, over 40% of patients encounter scalp pain and headache, which may be caused by the strong surface unwanted magnetic field. The TNS NPX 101 device protective shield can be useful to reduce surface unwanted energy.
Wow, okay, fantastic. And is there a cost advantage in using your system?
Yes, there is a significant cost advantage in using our system over current TNS device. Current clinical use devices are large and expensive with prices ranging from $70,000 to $160K US. NPX 101 device unit cost can be reduced 30 to 50% off the current unit price, which is more affordable for use in clinics. For an individual with insurance coverage, the device can be rented for home use, which saves travel time for patients, which is especially good news for disabled and elderly persons.
Absolutely. And are you using your system in clinical studies currently?
Not yet. NeuroPrex is working to get approval for a clinical study from the selected VA centers, and our system will be in production for testing at one of the centers.
Now, you are progressing through FDA clearance. Where are you there, and when do you expect to be cleared through the FDA?
We are working on raising non-dilutive funding grants from several sources, and the timing of FDA clearance will depend on raising the funds.
Have you produced any units to date, or how many have you produced?
We have produced several NPX 101 prototype devices for preliminary testing. We are ready with the industrial design for our device, and we'll be moving the device into production once we get approval for clinical testing and the needed funding.
Now let's talk a little bit about your corporate structure. You are building a scientific and technical team. Will you be adding business members who have led high-profile or public companies to success, in addition to yourself, who has led companies to success?
Yes, we have a plan for building a strong team on a global scale. NeuroPrex attracts talented, reliable, and experienced professionals with insight. We work to resolve the hardest medical problems with a realistic approach that complies with regulations. NeuroPrex is a private company. We are looking for business people who help NeuroPrex grow, improve our device, and our R&D work.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you started a couple companies in the past. Can you give us a sense of what your largest commercial success was?
As I mentioned before, I have started up 2 consulting firms in Taiwan and U.S., and also I collaborate with some distinguished manufacturers in Taiwan and India. I successfully secured exclusive distribution rights, and the products have been on the market for a while. I believe those experiences will really broaden my skills and my perspective on leading the company towards success.
Now, depression is obviously a huge market. Do you plan to penetrate the market as a standalone company or in partnership with a major player in this market? And are you involved in talks with potential partners?
We already partner with European companies to help secure funding and local resources to validate and market our products in Europe. We will be open for considering more such partnerships with North America-based companies.
And on financing, you had mentioned that you are working through a grant process, but how have you financed the company to date?
Yeah, we're working on 2 grants, one in U.S. and one in Europe right now, by the founders and a few angel investors. NeuroPrex also was recently approved by the European Commission to receive a Phase 1 business project grant. The EC funding usually goes to elite universities, and the approval rate is around 12%. We are working on a feasibility report for market and validation strategy for European market, which will help us secure the Phase 2 funding opportunities.
And then at some point, you will start thinking about raising commercialization funding. Are you in the process of that? Are you thinking through that? Or is it too early to think about commercialization funding at this point?
We stay connected with a few prestigious VCs and PE investors in the U.S. and Taiwan. Currently, VCs usually invest in late-stage companies or companies that can generate quick revenue, such as in internet companies. The amount of funding needed by NeuroPrex for developing a therapeutic device is low as compared to what funding is needed for drug development companies. However, TNS therapy for treating mental illness is still a new area in the medical industry. The device is very expensive and available only in medical clinics, and not every doctor has a chance to learn and use the device. Another hurdle in the U.S. is regulation and insurance reimbursement. TNS is limited to be used for second-line therapy for treating drug-resistant patients in FDA and insurance coverage, and not all patients can receive reimbursement. This does not make sense at all. The government regulation and insurance industry need to recognize the scientific evidence about the safety and efficacy of TNS and validate the therapy for the benefits of more doctors and patients as soon as possible.
Now, your treatment system is used for depression, but you also have mentioned on your website that another application is the Instant Savant. This sounds very intriguing. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Instant Savant?
Sure. Studies have shown that for non-medical use, TNS can temporarily unleash savant-like abilities. The mind becomes lucid and lighter to manage text. When put on the left top of the skull, the treatment turns off the left brain circuit that processes words and information. In some cases, subjects exposed to the magnetic fields were better able to guess the quantity of a large collection of objects. In another report, it changed the way of thinking profoundly and reduced procrastinating behavior, which may sometimes be caused by unnecessary anxiety.
Wow. And with that application, the Instant Savant, when would that be available to myself and all my friends that I have told about this, who are very excited about the potential to increase their thought patterns?
Yes, this will going to define the products become the consumer product and serving more people. However, as well, considering the safety issues, because this is a high voltage output device. So although it's very safe and very effective for all types of potentially that's the mental related abnormality, yes, not really go into the disease stages.
Great.
So, but we will be happy, if there is some safety guideline, then we can communicate with the regulation, the departments, then, and we certainly happy to bring this device for serving more people to improve their cognition and ability.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. Huang. This is very exciting. I will be reaching out to you in the future to see how your company is developing, and personally, I will be, and several people that I've spoken to, will be looking for the Instant Savant application.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.